Going live in 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome to another Secrets of OnPage SEO with me, Josh Bashinsky. Today we're going to be going over, as I mentioned, the secrets of OnPage. I've got a lot of awesome things to show you guys today. Oh, my camera's very high up there. No, I have a new haircut. People have been debating the hair and what they want to see in the haircut. So go ahead, give me your opinion. What do you think of my haircut now? And whatever else you want to say. If you have any SEO questions, please, by all means, you're probably watching this live, or if you're watching this later, you can ask questions in the description below in the comments. If you're watching live, you can ask questions on the right-hand side. I'm happy to answer any SEO questions you might have. However, for those folks who stay to the end, I will give you guys all the coupons and gifts. I've got gifts. I've got gifts and coupons. I've got discounts galore on SEO things that are sure to help you make more money and improve your SEO. So that's at the end. So wait to the end. I'll be happy to give those out. I do give first dibs to the folks who are on the Zoom call. Also, they're going to be entered into a raffle if they've replied yes, which a couple of them did. So I'll do the raffle to see who gets the SEO Power Hour, where I'll do an audit on your site and I'll figure out what's going on and I'll give you a full list of everything you need to fix. My audits are very powerful, usually around $2,000 for an audit, so it's a pretty good value for free. And I've literally saved businesses. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you that's the power of SEO. I've literally saved businesses by doing audits for folks. And so the folks on the Zoom call will get added to that raffle, and the folks on the Zoom call after I'm done broadcasting to the TubeViews, I will also give them an SEO Ask Me Anything and answer any question I can in the time that I have, even beyond OnPage, which I'm going to cover everything on OnPage today that you need to know from the basic level anyway. I'm going to cover for everybody, but in the SEO Ask Me Anything afterwards, they can ask me anything, as the title suggests. So that's good. And if you're like, hey, Josh, I'd love to get that too. How do I get in on that? All you got to do is join the mailing list. All you have to do is email me and get an email from us, and/or go to SEOcopilotai.com, sign up for the free, boy, I've been sick lately, so my brain's just been brain foggy. I think it's like a COVID brain foggy. Sign up for the free trial of the software and you should get added to the email list. And/or sign up for the free training, go to resources at SEOcopilotai.com, click on the resources and sign up for the training. And you too can be part of the Zoom group and ask me Zoomy questions, and be part of the SEO Ask Me Anything afterwards, and get access to the raffle for the SEO Power Hour, and get first crack at the coupons as well. I post them here first. There's a limited number of them. If these guys use it all up, I apologize, but usually there's a few left over, and then I post it to YouTube after that. Okay, so enough with the administratia. Enough with my miscellaneous potpourri of administratia. Today we're going to be talking about on-page SEO. Have you heard of this thing called SEO? It's all the stuff, it's all the rage of what you want to do. Yes, it still makes money, and yes, it's not dead. SEO is still a great place to make money. If people are finding you on the search engines, then you need to be doing search engine optimization. Google is still by far the biggest search engine in terms of market share, and so today I'm going to show you how to crush it. I'm going to show you how to dominate the Google search engines in terms of when it comes to on-page, in terms of your site build, how many pages you need to build, site clusters I'll talk about, silos I'll talk about, in the sense that you do one and it's the correct way to do it, so do it this way. And I will tell you completely how to do your on-page today. And so let's get to it. So first off, I want to make sure I'm just broadcasting to YouTube correctly. Let me just listen in my earbuds here, see if I hear noise. Yay, I hear noise. Okay, so I'm broadcasting to the YouTubes correctly. Make sure you like and subscribe if for anyone who comes here to watch. Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you this piece of software here called SEO Copilot. It is the software that I've engineered to do all of your on-page for you, or much of your on-page for you. It is a tool to help you. It's a fantastic thing. So unless you've been living in a cave somewhere, and if you have, congratulations. I'm sure the rental cost is low if you're living in a cave. AI is this big new huge thing, and some of it is actually pretty good. Most of it is not. Some of it's good. Most of it's not. A lot of the AI free stuff you have to stay away from. However, I have, with my 30 years experience in SEO, my 30 years experience in tech and IT, and my 10 years experience in artificial intelligence, we were able to engineer together basically an SEO consultant in a box. And it's called SEO Copilot. And it helps you right now do your complete on-page. It'll take you from zero to hero on on-page. It'll do so many things that humans couldn't even do. And it will save you thousands of dollars in terms of cost and hundreds of hours in terms of time, which is fantastic. In my personal opinion, in 2025 and beyond, there is absolutely no way to do SEO without AI. Sorry, that's the way that it is. If you really want to get ahead of everybody else, you need to go faster than them. And you need to go faster than them and smarter than them at the same time. You can't take 20 hours to build a single page. You can't take a day to build a single page. That's too slow, right? You need to build 5 pages a day, in some cases, in many cases, in most cases. You're going to need to build as many pages per day as you can crank out. But they all need to be high quality pages or Google will punch you out of the index. And so luckily, at my think tank, Underground SEO University, we saw this problem coming and we realized after doing a lot of testing, sorry, I'm drinking from my gross looking, this is a chocolate protein shake is what it is. People are like, ooh, that's gross. Oh, and I put some on my nose. Great, perfect. That's why I normally don't have the camera on. We were like, on-page is impossible. It's too much work. There's no way you can do all the work you need to do to rank in the tough niches and compete with the people who are already there. So we said, Eureka, we'll build a tool to do it, and we did. And this is the result. SEO Copilot's the result. So this is just a fantastic application. There's a free trial for 2 weeks. Right now we have a promotion on. We're giving free credits right now for everybody. Everybody has free credits right now. That's going to end soon. We're going to fix the credit system, and we're going to also implement a time system so that the bigger account you have, the longer, more data you have access to, because this is very expensive to run. The database costs me right now $1,600 a month. And so to be able to afford that, we're going to give away better accounts. So everything will be good. Everything will be better. And we've got you covered in terms of everything you need to do for SEO. So what am I going to cover today? I'm going to cover your full on-page process. Everything from finding the ranking opportunities, to then finding the boosting keywords for your page, to then building the perfect SEO page. And this is really the 3 most important steps. Step 1, you need to find where your competitors are weak and the traffic is high and ready to buy. That is to say, not high like they just smoke some joints. When I say high and ready to buy, I mean that there's a lot of traffic and they're very close they're at the tail end of the sales search funnel. Everybody kind of knows now it's kind of a mistake just to build informational pages. Everybody kind of knows now for many reasons, not the least of which is they don't make any money. And the second reason is that AI is going to eat your lunch, right? The AI overview is going to answer the question and may not serve you up if you don't have a unique sales value proposition, if you don't have a unique helpful page, if you don't have the EEATT, if you don't have the experience, the expertise, the authority, trust, and timeliness, making what Google calls high quality content, which is highly subjective, generally speaking, in the industry. But today I'm going to make high quality content that has the EAT with it. I'm going to make that very objective for you. I'm going to prove to you and show you how we have the stats and how we have an objective measure what that is. And you can nail that mark. You can put a check mark in actually what Google needs. Everything Google needs for on-page. Helpful. It has experience, expertise, authority, trust. It's timely. It has the semantic keywords. It has all the keyword density you're supposed to have. It's built in the right way. It's built in the right structure. It's built with the right HTML. It's built with the right query intent. It's built with the right page type, right? All those things our AI does for you within like 20 minutes. And so it frees you up to build more and to do more other kind of SEO you're going to need to do, like building internal links and building all the external signals you're going to need to build. On-page is just the start of SEO. And it's most of SEO, I'll have to admit, in 2025, but there's still a lot more you need to do. We get #1 rankings with OnPage alone. For example, let me show you this particular one here. So this is Underground SEO University here, and I'll show you some of these ones that I've been doing. So, I mean, this is just from OnPage alone. We're in Perplexity for OnPage alone. This is just OnPage alone getting here, right? This is just OnPage alone getting here in the AI overview. Where is it? Where is it? Open link. Getting here in the AI overview and getting recommended, which some studies have shown gives you a ton of traffic, is just from OnPage alone. Now, mind you, it didn't stick. It was there for a while. You can do the search now, and you're going to see it hovers between spot 1 and 3, and the AI may not be recommending it, but we know exactly why that is. And that's because OnPage will get you so far in some cases, but then you need to do off-page. There's off-page work you need to do for SEO as well. And if you're like, oh no, Josh, what off-page work do I need to do? Email me. You see my email down here. Email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to help you out. I know all the stuff you need to do. I've been teaching this for 15 years. I've been doing it for 30. So I'd be more than happy to help you out learning all these things. All you have to do is email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com. But going back to the on-page steps, so you can get a lot. Hello guys, if you have any questions, please ask me on the tube views. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys don't mind. Share it with your friends if they're trying to learn SEO. So there are 3 crucial steps to on-page, and people kind of forget them. The first step is finding the ranking opportunities. Finding those money keywords, those low in the sales search funnel keywords that are going to make you money sooner, faster, better, easier, and cheaper than everybody else. Then building models for RankBrain, BERT, vector embeddings, TWBERT, the helpful content models, the page type models, the query intent models, all these models you need to understand and build. My AI will do that for you within 20 minutes. And we've got a couple new features as well now. I want to show you on that regard as well. And then finally, generating the content, generating human level, high quality content, saving you 99% of costs and time. This is the holy grail of SEO, right? This is what we've always wanted is, can't somebody else write this for me? Can't somebody else do this? And do they have to cost as much as someone on Upwork? Nope, they can cost way, way less. And it's a great, fantastic thing. As long as you're making high quality content, Google is more than happy to rank it. All the examples I just showed you were all generated by SEO Copilot. I use SEO Copilot for everything. Every example I show you is both Underground SEO University knowledge and SEO Copilot building it, which are 2 separate companies. So sometimes people email me and think like they can pay one fee to get into both. That's not how that works. There's 2 separate companies, but I do have coupons and I do have deals. If you sign up for a certain level with one or the other, you can get a huge discount on the other one, including free. There are 100% off deals. Just email me and I can help you with that. Because at the end of the day, I want SEO Copilot and Underground SEO University to be cost effective, and I want you to succeed. It is my job to help you succeed in SEO, and that's honestly what I try to do every day in, day out. Okay, so then where do we start? Well, the place we start is in finding the ranking opportunities. We start here in keyword discovery. This is where we find the best searches to go for to begin with, right? And this is where we start planning our money pages and in whatever clusters or silos that we want to do. And there's 2 different distinct ways we use keyword discovery, use this tool. What this tool does basically is you put in an idea or a keyword. It could be a general idea like SEO for a place like New Jersey, or it could be the idea of crypto, or you could drill down to something much more concrete like bookkeeping services or room additions in Roseville, California. These are the kinds of ideas you could put in here. And what my AI does is it does something no human ever could. It casts the widest net possible to look over, in some cases, 13,000 keywords to find all the gem keywords that, for whatever reason, because people don't know how to do SEO anymore, or because they never did, or because they did, but they did it too hard and Google punted them out of the index, or because searches changed and people forget to do this research to see with voice search how people have changed their searching, how Gen Z talks to Google differently, types differently. And not just presuming what the keywords are, but actually looking at what the searches are and finding the searches that your competitors are weak on, and that you're not wasting money and you're not increasing your chances of failure to try to compete on. No, the exact opposite. Instead, you look through this wide net of keywords that it's found for you to find the gem keywords where, again, there's a lot of traffic, they're ready to make purchases, there's more money behind it, so you can make more money sooner by ranking for it. And people have simultaneously in this formula also factored against, however, the competition is very weak for whatever reason. There's plenty of reasons why that is. There's tons of reasons why that is. And so you can cast a very wide net, and then you can drill down from here. You can be like, well, what about crypto? I know crypto makes money. And then you can drill down from here, and you can look at the query space. You could be like, oh, well, look, wow, this is very tough. This is not recommended. This is tough. Okay, interesting. But look how much money possibly you can make, right? Now, I one proviso about the keyword revenue ballpark, as you see here, it says rough approximate. This is just a rough approximate. I fully admit that my rough approximate can be off as much as, times 100, right? But it's not going to be that far off. And it is an apples to apples comparison between these numbers here, right? You know that ranking for coin market cap coin is going to make way more money than, say, ranking for the best crypto portfolio. Even though that's up apparently 9,000% in the last 6 months, it only has 720 people searching it, and they're only bidding 284 in Google Ads to be there, as opposed to almost, 7 million people searching this, and they're bidding 289 to be there. That's why it makes so much more money. But unsurprisingly, that is also why it is a very tough niche to rank for, right? Now, this keyword difficulty number here, unlike the revenue ballpark, here's just another pro tip. I want you to know, I've done a master's degree, and I was doing a PhD in a science-related field, interdisciplinary philosophy of science-related fields. And so I've studied very extensively correlative data analyses and statistical correlations and statistical data correlative analysis studies. And there is a standard mathematical formula that science uses to ensure that their survey is indeed scientific. They have enough sample size. And we are well beyond the threshold for sample size. We blow the sample size out of the water. There are millions of records for me to determine that this difficulty number, this keyword difficulty, is accurate. So while this one, I fully admit, can be off as much by a factor of 100, this one is not. This one is like off maybe 5% at utter maximum, and that would only be in rare situations. Typically, this is dead accurate. When I say this is a very tough niche, when I say this is 73.53% tougher than SEO is on average, you can take that to the bank, and you should literally, pun fully intended, literally you should take that to the bank. You should take that seriously in thinking, maybe a very tough niche is what I would go for eventually, but not where I should start. Maybe not recommended means, and this is exactly what it means I do not recommend a new site or new SEO tries to cut their teeth on this. I do not recommend going for this keyword off the bat. You need to build up your experience, and quite frankly, you need to build up your site before you can start ranking for these kinds of keywords. Even though my AI sorts them as the best keywords here, it doesn't mean you should start with them, right? They do have the highest return on investment, but that doesn't mean you should start with them. And I'll explain how and why that is in a couple of seconds. Danny says, what about the details when you click the bar? Perfect. Thank you, Danny, very much. So what Danny's referring to here is, and that's exactly how you would make the determination, right? And a pro tip, a pro SEO, an SEO who's going fast or an SEO who doesn't have time might just quickly look at this and make some, like, okay, that's what crypto looks like. Okay, what about this carbide burr? How much money does this make? How hard is this niche? Should I be working in this niche? By the way, if you guys have any niches you want me to check, let me know. I'm glad to throw them in here. Or how much, how hard is SEO in New Jersey to rank for? Turns out not that difficult, interestingly, which you do think would be harder. But looks can be deceiving, right? Looks can be deceiving. You should click the bar here and look deeper to see, okay, well, I should run the report again because apparently my API failed and I didn't get any links or traffic. But even at the end of the day, quite frankly, and Reddit would be really tough to get out of here. That's why it's 270% harder than the rest of these. The rest of these, however, are pretty weak. They don't know how to optimize for this query. They've optimized for other queries. See, the EMQ is not on the page, the title, or the URL. And their pages are, this one's focused on it. 44% is where you'd normally find this, 44%. That's a good score. But their sites are barely focused on this, right? Their sites are too broad. Their sites are too broad, and you'd be competing with sites here mostly, right? Here's a page you compete with, here's a page, but here's a site you would be competing with. Here's a page you'd be competing with. So maybe if you made a site dedicated to this in this area, maybe you'd be able to outcompete these guys. And that's how you would drill down and kind of use this as better information. So that's how, let me see here, there's another question. Jorge says, Punta Cana transportation. Sure. I remember this one. Jorge. So boom, we can look at that one here too. Okay. So it's drilling down. It's found 411 possible keywords that are related to this. And it's going to run the keyword difficulties here. It'll run the keyword difficulties here for you. There's some good money behind them, and look, they're all up this year. Look at this. This is interesting. There's another interesting thing to see. The Google Ad competition, right? You can view the SERP here. If you click here, you can actually take a look at the SERP. And if you want to change the geolocation, you can change it here. You can change it to Tuvalu to strip out any geolocated signals. You can change it to US to see what it might look like there. And looks like here we got TripAdvisor is the #1. And then we got these guys who have a exact match domain. That tells me that this is probably a low quality spammy niche. If you can get away with an exact match domain, it would be pretty easy to beat them in some cases. In some ways not. And it starts finding some of the comparative to the rest of SEO for you. This one is about 20% easier than the rest of SEO. They do have organic, don't have a lot of paid, some backlinks, whoop-de-doo. No one knows how to apparently do SEO for this properly. And their pages and sites are barely dedicated to this. So this should not be that difficult to get rid of. TripAdvisor and this one will be the worst to compete with, and this one here. The other ones here are the weakest. You could punt these ones off the bottom of the SERP. You could punt this one off here. Reddit, it probably is not that related, and Google's just throwing it up here because it has nothing better to throw up there. So that's how you can drill down and start making some very highly informed SEO decisions, but you can do that in just 3 seconds. There you go, boom. Now we got a bunch of the information, and we can start building on this kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do, what you would do next is you would click this and you'd say find the boosting keywords. I'm going to say find the boosting keywords, and I'm going to use Tuvalu as the geolocation, English, Tuvalu.com, grid, boom. And I'm going to run a report on this, and we'll build an article around this as well. So you see, boom, now it's doing a keyword spy report. Now that we've discovered the keywords we want to rank for, now we're going to spy on what the boosting keywords would be. Then we're going to build the articles. And if you had any existing pages you wanted to audit, you could go to page audits and you could put in the page audit here. All you need to do is click launch new audit, put in the URL, the EMQ, choose a country, choose a language, and launch the audit, and it'll give you all the data here. Danny says, can you explain the Tuvalu use? Sure. The reason why I often use Tuvalu when I'm running a keyword spy report, I do not do it when I'm running keyword discovery. Keyword discovery, if you want to rank for this area, you need to put in this area because you need to see what the difficulties are and the searches are for this area. If you want to rank for this area, you need to put in this area. But if you just want to rank across the board, you just leave it at all locations global. And it looks like anyone in the English speaking world would type this in. So it looks like I should have used all locations global. And the keyword ideas you want to cast as wide a net as possible. And I would not disable the automatic difficulty scoring. That's a gem of the system. If you're disabling the automatic difficulty scoring, you're doing yourself a disservice. And the chances of your SEO failing have just skyrocketed because you're probably going to come here. If I turn off the difficulty, right, this is what will happen. If I turn off the difficulty, I'll come to crypto. It'll be sorted by keyword ROI instead. And I'll start trying to rank for very tough and not recommended. I'll start trying to rank for this stuff. And if this is what I start with, my project will fail. Because Google is never going to trust a brand new site or a site that has never ranked on any of this to answer these important queries. It will never trust a site just brand new. It doesn't work like that, right? You got to earn your spot. You have to earn trust with Google. And you need to start with the easiest keywords. And you have to give good answers on these easy keywords. And then find the gem ones that also make money and try to rank for these ones. Do not make up keywords that are 10 words long and then look at your client and go, look, I got you ranking for, whatever. I got you ranking for some 10-word keyword no one types in and makes no money. No, you rank for the easy keywords, yes, but also ones that make money. You just go down this list, keep getting money keywords, and eventually that money starts to add up and you're starting to actually make some money here, right? And that's how you want to do it. Danny says, does the system automatically check difficulty on the 6,000 results? No, it does not. That would eat up too many resources, and that would eat up too many resources, and people would complain. It would eat up too many credits. So you have to run them. We do 150 to start, or we're supposed to do 150. We'll try 150, and the API will try and fail a couple times. And then from there, what you need to do is I would go here to keyword ROI, and I would just start difficulty here to make sure that everything that has money attached to it, I have a difficulty attached to it, is what I would do. And I would run them manually until everything with money has a difficulty attached. And then I would export that in a CSV, or I would start building my pages very quickly, one or the other. All right, now, however, to answer your question about Tuvalu, I only do that for keyword spies. And I do that for keyword spies when I'm trying to find the boosting keywords. I select Tuvalu because I want to strip out all the geolocation signals, right? When I'm searching for a free SEO course, I don't want personalization to be part of this. I don't want geolocation to be part of this. So I will select Tuvalu, the small island nation of Tuvalu, which I don't even think English is their primary language. So the amount of people searching in Tuvalu for a free SEO course should be very, very small and shouldn't affect the results you get very much. Then I say start keyword spy report. Then all the reports are listed here under reports. And as you can see, we already got the Punta Cana airport transfers running here. Danny says, that makes a lot of sense to sort before doing difficulty search. Don't want to use up credits too fast. Yeah, I'll give you a thumbs up. Yeah, that's the general idea of the reason why that is. I'd love to have a system that was fast enough. In the future, I'd love to have a system that is fast enough and robust enough with enough users supporting it so I can upgrade our both security and the power of our servers and the speed of the system so that all 8,000 keywords are automatically scored as fast as possible. That would take it's like 5 seconds per keyword. So that would take 4,000 seconds, however many minutes that is. I don't know. That's probably take some hours to do. It would run in the background, but it would start with the most important ones and run them all. That's where I'd love to get to. I need more users that are paying more money is what I need. We have thousands of users. A lot of them are on a very low kind of scale. And engineering for this project, getting an AI to think for itself is not an easy thing to do. This is a very, very robust AI agent. It's very expensive to run. I'm not whining or complaining. I'm just explaining, that's the reason why. So we have to find a balance, and that's the balance we struck. All right, let me check here to see, are you guys have any questions on the YouTubes? How you guys doing? 4 people watching here. If you guys got any questions, by all means, put them in the side. Go ahead and ask any SEO questions here. I will refresh the page and try to see if you've got any questions for me. Alrighty. Okay, so let's go back. So that's why we do the keyword discovery. I could go on for many hours explaining why that is and why it's so important. I would say, in my experience, 70% of SEO projects go wrong by choosing the wrong keywords to begin with. And I've done it myself. Take it from me. Learn from my mistakes of 30 years. Every time I failed massively, it's because I got cocky and I thought I knew what the keywords were because I've been doing this so long. And I failed to find the correct keywords in the correct order to build trust with Google on a brand new site, right? Instead of trying to massage my content for Google, and instead of being able to answer the questions that Google would trust me with this new site, I went for the hard questions right away and then, threw some signals at it and it failed massively. So don't learn from my mistakes. Don't make those mistakes. Make sure keyword discovery is probably the gem of this system. And I mean, there's so many gems in this system, but it is so important to use keyword discovery. Don't start any SEO project without it. Okay. So after that, after keyword discovery, all you need to do is you need to check to see what kind of keywords you have here. And if you're like, and so here's how you know. Okay, so here's some things that I have to break down. Okay. So you're like, okay, Josh, all right, I get it. I should be trying to find, obviously, the keywords that are easier to rank for, that make the most money. Why would I spend more money to rank for worse keywords that make less money, that are going to take me longer? That is a sure way to fail, right? The ranking number one is not how you win at SEO. I'll repeat that after I take a sip of my protein shake. Ranking number one is not how you win at SEO. You win at SEO by ranking number one faster, cheaper, easier than everybody else, in a rinse-repeat way, which is risk-free, which isn't going to just get you nabbed by Google by doing spam in month 6, right? That's how you win at SEO. And that is exactly the kind of data that my AI finds for you automagically. And you don't really need to worry about it too much. So you're like, okay, great. I get that, Josh. That's just business efficiency, right? The most efficient business wins. That's just the way that it works. So, and so for SEO, we need to do the same thing. And again, guys, this refers to every single kind of SEO, whether it's global or local, whether it's from porn to not-for-profit, from sexiness to churches, everything in between, whether you're doing consulting, affiliate, in-house, it is all the same. It is all the same. SEO is SEO. And this applies to all of the SEO above, right? So I want to make sure that everyone is benefiting from this. All right, the second thing is, okay, fine, I get it. I kind of get what you're talking about, that I need to build on the easy questions. But how do I know whether my site is trusted enough by Google on this particular topic that I can just start going for a tough niche right away, or an average niche right away? How do I know I'm ready for that? Well, how you know you're ready for that, it depends on how quickly you rank for these things, right? So if you are already ranking on page 1 for a bunch of Punta Cana airport transfer style queries, well, then you can just sort by final return on investment and bring to the top the easiest ones that make the most money. That's how this sorts. That's the biggest ROI, the best ROI, the easiest keywords that make the most money. This times this equals this high score, right? The easiness times the money, the lowest of this, the highest of this gives the best score here. And you could sort by that and just start building right from the top. And how many pages do you need? You need the pages to compete with your competitors. For example, I would do a search for this, right? Best Punta Cana airport transfers. And let's look, we have TripAdvisor here. And we have finally, the first one that's kind of a like-to-like example is this one, Amstar DMC. So let's click on this and see, okay, when it comes to, let's go back here. Let's copy this. Okay, so let's go back here. So when it comes to Punta, oops, that's not what I want. When it comes to, well, that's not it. Okay, Punta Cana transportation. So hopefully I didn't spell that wrong. What we do is we do a site colon search on this particular topic to see how many pages they have indexed. So let's see. Yeah, there we go. Boom, boom. There we go. Okay, so we have Punta Cana. Sorry, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I barely speak French. I definitely don't speak Spanish. And when I say barely speak French, I mean I don't speak French at all. So what I do is I go down to the very bottom of all the pages Google thought was relevant for this particular topic, which is generally what you want to rank for. And we're down here to 300 pages with another 300 omitted. So at the end of the day, you need anywhere from 300 to 600 pages to compete with this one site, right? Apparently, they think this page is related to this, and it is. Here's the bolded text, right? So they have a lot of content built. Now, this is only the number one site. The other competitors could have much less. However, it does give you a kind of an idea of the ballpark that you do need to be in. And in this case, it's 300 to 600 pages. And so you might be like, oh my God, this is crazy. Josh, one, how am I going to make 300 to 600 pages? Like, it's going to take me years to make that much content. And two, you might be like, isn't content velocity like a penalty? Isn't that going to be a problem building that much content? And the answer is surprisingly simple. No, there is no content velocity penalty. It's just simply wrong, right? In underground SEO University, we do a lot of science testing Google's algorithms, maybe because I was professionally trained to do science. And I can tell you that the science that people do in SEO is not science at all. It's completely hilarious. It is laughable. For example, the people who say that content velocity is a deranking factor, this is the kind of experiment that they've run. And numerous people have said this, but the latest guy who said this, and pretty much all the experiments that do this is what they do. He generated 1,000 pages of low-level, shitty chat GPT content. He then put a sitemap, he put those pages on his site, and he made a sitemap of the 1,000 pages and uploaded his sitemap and then waited. Then months later, his site, which already wasn't ranking that great, got a big demotion. And he said, there, you see, content velocity is a deranking factor. Do you see how that was not scientific? Do you see the mistakes that he made there? Or she made there, or whoever it was made there? One, he didn't index all 1,000 pages at once. You can't do that. Two, Google only indexed 10 pages a week. And so you only ended up indexing 40 pages, 80 pages out of the 1,000. Two, that's not high quality content. That's low quality content. And so yes, if you add a bunch of low quality content to your site, you are going to derank your site. That is definitely for sure. People outside of Underground SEO University suspect this highly. And people in Underground SEO University, us, we've tested it, we know it for a fact. Notice what I said, they suspect it versus we know it. We know it for a fact. We know a lot about SEO rankings. We'd love to tell you. Please email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to explain more. If you would like to have scientific level knowledge that you know that you're accessing the right ranking factors, you're doing it in the right way to guarantee the maximal results, the kind of results we have on our wins channel. And we also have publicly as well at bit.ly/SEO proof. If you don't believe me that we have the results, go to bit.ly/SEO proof, SEO There, it's just a Dropbox folder where whenever we have a win, I just throw it in that folder, and you're going to see wins going back for years, hundreds and hundreds of wins, thousands probably going back for years, proving to you our success and our knowledge, or at least hoping to give you some proof of our success and knowledge. So no, there's no content velocity penalty. I know this for a fact. We've tested it. We add content like crazy. There are blogs out there that add over 1 million pages a month, and they rank perfectly fine because they add high quality content. How they can add 1 million pages of high quality content, I don't know. But It's not easy to do, that's for sure. Mind you, these sites also have millions of pages already indexed. And so it's the percentage of low quality to high quality that'll get you nabbed. So that's probably the problem. Or in their case, probably the save from not being demoted by it, right? That's probably what's going on there. Invacode assistant said things. Okay, great. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So the other reason that I know for a fact that content velocity isn't a deranking factor is that I have the leaked document of Google's ranking factors. A few months ago, maybe a year now, Google accidentally, this really happened, Google accidentally on their GitHub repo, that's on the site GitHub repository where they share their programming information, their API documentation, they made their private API documentation public by accident for 2 days. And we have it. It's 7,414 pages. It's a 43 megabyte PDF file, which has all of their ranking factors in it. And it says very clearly in there, they don't call it content velocity. That's what we call it. They call everything differently than we call it, right? And they don't really care about SEO the way we care about it, but that's besides the point. I won't get on that rant for now. They clearly say that the velocity in which a site increases in high quality content is a ranking factor that boosts you in and of itself. So if you're asking Josh, how long do I need to wait to upload the 600 pages of content I need to compete with people in this niche? The answer is don't wait at all. Do as many pages per day as you can, as long as you have all your pages in the green. As long as in the article builder, all the pages are in the green for our 4 SEO scores. To say the same thing another way, to make sure that all of your pages are of high quality, objectively speaking, as a fact, not my subjective opinion as to what high quality is, then you can upload it, and you should upload it, and you should be fetching like 10 pages a day at least, because the longer you take to be able to compete with your competition that is already way ahead of you with 300 to 600 pages of content on this particular topic, in this particular case, is the longer time and the more risky time that you're going to take to fail, right? That you're not making money on this niche, that you're spending money on this niche to try to get into the informational flow, to try to get into the money flow, right? It's one thing to get into the information flow. It's another thing to get into the money flow. You want to get into that stronger current of money, and you want to do that, and you need to do that faster, easier, cheaper, and more assuredly than all of your competitors combined. And so what you need to do is you need to build those pages as quickly as possible. Now I've got 2 other things to tell you about that before I move on to the keyword spy. One is, okay, you know how many pages you need to make, but you know you can make them as fast as you can possibly make them high quality. And that's what you should do, and that's what you need to do. But there's 2 other caveats I need to put there. One, what if you're not already ranking for this kind of stuff? If you're not already ranking for this kind of stuff, what you need to do is sort by keyword difficulty, as I was saying before, and build on the easier keywords first that also make money. Start from this bottom here and move up and build pages that will answer all these questions, right? They're going to help people understand. If you can even possibly make a different page on any of these, do it. Even if they seem to be duplicated, make a different page on it, answer it in a different way, and see what Google likes. And then if Google doesn't like one of these pages, just 301 it to another equivalent page. And you should build these up as fast as possible. And if you get to the end and you're like, Josh, I've gotten to the end and I don't have any more ones that I don't have difficulty ratings. Okay, well then run more difficulty ratings and keep building. Building as many pages a day as possible. If you built 5 pages a day, which would only take you about 5 hours with SEO Copilot, and 25 pages a week, and you take the other 2 hours off for your working day, do whatever you want to do, and then you're building, that's about 100 pages a month, it'll only take you about 3 months to catch up with your competitors. Because here's the second thing I want to tell you. The good news is because we're using artificial intelligence, we can use computers to ensure that the quality of your output doesn't ever dip, right? It's consistent in quality as well. It's increased in speed, it's decreased in cost, but it's also increased in quality. And so that means pound for pound, our on-page is better than everybody else's on-page, pound for pound. And so those 600 or so pages they have, only 300 competing on this particular query, only 300 or so, according to Google, were good enough to get past Google's filter. So you could ignore those other 300 pages. They're probably only helping like 0.1. Like if every page give you 1 point of score to ranking, those pages that Google ignored are like 0.1, if that, like 10% of the quality. Plus, our pages are just going to be pound for pound better. Our pages on these topics are going to be fully high quality. They're going to have what I call the sheet, right? You got to be the sheet, and that pun fully intended. And that stands for you need the semantic keywords. So you need like keyword density, things like that. But my AI will tell you what that is. It's far more complicated than you realize. My AI will tell you what that is. However, don't worry about it. But you also need the helpful keywords, those words on the page that show you're helpful. You need to say them. You need the experienced keywords. There's words people say when they know what they're talking about. And there's ways they talk about the topic when they know what they're talking about. You need to say those words. These are all on-page factors. The rest of the SEO industry has their head in their butt. They think that EAT is like off-page stuff. It's not. There are off-page signals that show your proficiency, that's for sure, but that has nothing to do with EAT per se. You need on-page. You need to say the on-page keywords for sheet, for semantics, but also for helpfulness. You need to show the experienced and the expertise keywords, showing your authority. You need to speak about it authoritatively, using the words and phrases and turns of phrase, giving them the entities, the concepts that only the authoritative expert in this industry would, because that's all Google wants to rank, by the way. Google has absolutely zero interest in ranking you. Google has absolutely zero interest in ranking someone who has no idea what this industry is, or cannot or does not know how to communicate it both one, effectively, and two, with authority. If you're not a 30-year expert in whatever niche you're trying to rank for, give up now, or let the AI write it, because Google does not want to rank you. Life is not fair. Google is even less fair, and they have an embarrassment of riches. They have an embarrassment of pages they can use to satisfy these search queries. Why in the hell are they going to choose an amateur who doesn't know what they're talking about? Obviously, they're going to choose a 30-year expert or somebody who knows what they're talking about. And that's what my AI does for you. It finds all those keywords, it finds the ways the experts are talking about them, and it wraps that all together in one seamless thing, in one seamless article, which is just amazing that it can do all that work for you. Again, taking 20 hours of work down to like 20 minutes, which is just amazing, just fantastic. And so, it's interesting in that people still think it's kind of like the year 2000, and they think that you could rank for anything. You can't, especially if you don't know what you're talking about or don't know how to use AI to get ahead. And that's why you need to sort, in many cases, by difficulty. You need to find the easiest keywords. You need to run more difficulties and then sort them again. So you have all the easier ones here, especially a gem keyword like this one that's making good money, or this one, which is making good money, or these ones that are making good money. These ones that are actually making good money are the ones you want to try and rank for. And you want to start at the easier end so that Google will try you more often. That they're like, Google's saying here, nobody apparently knows how to rank for this. No one has made a page dedicated to this. No one's made a site dedicated to this. People have barely mentioned it here. We have no idea if these answers are trustworthy. These are just the ones we're trying. So you need to give them a page that's trustworthy on this, because you mention it, your page is dedicated to it, and you also have all the expertise keywords in there and the helpful keywords. Remember the helpful content update? This is a real thing. I'm not making this stuff up. And you need to do all that stuff, and you need to start with that process, because at the end of the day, it's the basis you build everything else on. If you don't start with this process, you're going to have some trouble for sure. So let me check to see here if there's any questions from the YouTube folks. JP says, hey, happy Friday. Google Maps still my go-to for SEO. Hey, Jordan, how you doing, man? Interesting. I'm interested to hear you're still in Maps. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, JP has been doing local for a very, very long time. And so I'm very happy to have you aboard, buddy. Very glad to have you here. Okay, so that's keyword discovery. That might be the fastest I've ever gone through it, but usually it's 50 minutes. I can't get it any shorter than 50 minutes because it's that important. But the last point I was making there is that pound for pound, our pages are better. So even if you're like, oh, Josh, they need 300 pages, it'll take me 3 months. Even if I build at the accelerated rate you suggest I should, which you should, if not faster. But I can't wait 3 months. I need to make money now or sooner. My answer is, well, I got good news for you. Pound for pound, our pages are better than their pages. So it's impossible for me to say how much better, but probably I'd say at least twice as good, if not 3 times as good in many cases. So you really only need to build for like a month, and you'll probably be able to start competing with them and start ranking on page 1 for some of these important queries. Okay. And that is everything you would plan and you'd find in keyword discovery. So before I move on, does anybody have any questions at all about keyword discovery? Anyone on the YouTube, anyone on the Zoom? Let me know if you have any questions at all about keyword discovery, how that process works, why you would do it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And if you have any questions, please, by all means, put them in the chat or put them for either Zoom or YouTube. I'd be happy to answer them. Danny says, how about building stuff like the homepage, service, and location pages? Great question, Danny. So the homepage is really, I promised I'd tell you how to build a cluster. So this is how you build it. To answer your question, let's go. Whiteboard, let me draw something here for you. Hey, look, it's my little friend who visits me sometimes. Okay. Yeah. Close this. Stop it. Okay. So this is what I recommend. Now let me get the pen out of here. Okay. So here's your home page, right? This is the index page. I suggest building a cluster for sure, but it is only 1 level deep. You have all the pages underneath. These are all your ranking pages, and they all link to each other. They link up and they link down. That's it. I recommend this for a lot of reasons. If you stick around for the Ask Me Anything, I'd be happy to explain why science proves this is the absolute best way to do it. And there's a few more suggestions. But the homepage is usually some umbrella topic, right? Either it's a ranking page or not, it doesn't matter as long as it's some umbrella topic. So you can rank it for something, you don't necessarily have to. Quite often the ranking pages here are the ones that are going to make money and the ones that you're focusing on. Now you also asked about service and location pages. The answer is yes, we make them. They're not treated any differently than ranking pages, however, and they're all put here in the same structure. I know the industry does it differently. The industry is wrong. The industry makes it up. And so you shouldn't be surprised at all to find they're wrong. That's just the way that it is. Now, that probably will make more questions than not, but to go into this would be 2 hours. So I'm happy to answer some of this in my SEO AMA, and I go into great detail in Underground SEO University with proof and tutorials and science and the best way to do it and techniques and freebies and tools to help you. But this is, I'm a truth teller. I tell it like it is, and this is the truth. And I know it's different. Everyone's like, well, you need to build another structure here, another structure here. Nope, none of this. This is not going to rank you. No. You can do that in the menu, yes, but you cannot do that here. And the good news is that everyone in the industry doesn't understand this. And so we have a huge leg up. We have a huge advantage against them because everyone else in the industry is doing this wrong. Danny gives me a thumbs up. Thank you. I thumbs up your thumbs up. There's a big thumb and a little thumb. It's a big thumb and a little thumb. All right, do you guys on YouTube have any questions? Let me check here on the YouTube. Let me check. You guys are about 20 seconds behind me here. No questions that I can see. Great, guys, thanks. Please remember to like and subscribe. Share this with any friends that you know is looking how to do SEO. I'm more than happy to answer any more questions, and I want to help as many people as possible because there's never been a better time to be doing SEO. All right. So then let's move on, and I cover this every Friday, so you can go back if you want more about keyword discovery. I sometimes talk longer about it and the reason why and get into some details there. You feel free to email me or go back and watch previous videos. So let's move on now to keyword spy. So this is where you spy on your competitors. This is where you try to find the models, the RankBrain model, the BERT model, TW-BERT, vector embedding, helpful model, page type, query intent, all these kinds of actual models that are useful, the review AI model, all the models that Google uses to score pages. You notice that in these reports, we don't actually just look at competitors. We're building AI models for you. We're building AI models for you that we know Google uses. We know they use RankBrain and we're scoring the entities. We also have phrase entities that we're scoring as well, compared to your top 10 competitors and your top 100 competitors. And we also have BERT as well, which includes the query interpretation or the query intent. Yes, query intent is a ranking factor, and we include it. We also include the HTML widgets or the page type. This is the kind of HTML you should have on your page. These kinds of tags with these kinds of attributes nested in this kind of way. Our AI does all that for you because I'm here to tell you all that's a ranking factor. Congratulations. So I could spend another 5 hours talking about this, how we do it, why we do it. But quite frankly, at the end of the day, that's all you need to know, right? I've freed us from the hell of looking at our competitors, eyeballing it from 20,000 feet away, and magically being a psychic, and even with my 30 years experience, being like, oh, I bet you that's a keyword that I need to say, and that's a keyword I need to say, and that's a keyword what I need to say. That just is not the scientific way of doing it. A computer needs to do this, right? There's no way, because people limit themselves to like the top 3, maybe the top 5. You need to look at the top 1,000, right? All of the ranking factors for that niche is niche dependent. So you're right to look at your competitors to get an idea, some kind of clue as to what the actual ranking factors are and what the frequencies of numbers should be in those factors. But that's where it ends, right? It's not 2005 anymore. It's not like you need to put a keyword in the URL, a title, and the H1, and that's it. That's not how it works. It is far, far more complicated than that. It is beyond it's beyond the ability for humans to reverse engineer on the fly, right? You need an AI to analyze those top 1,000, or what Google calls the shard collection. For any of you who have been in this as long as I have, I know JP knows what the shard collection means because he's been in this as long as I have, or almost as long as I have, for quite some time. You need to look at the entire shard collection and see what the vector embeddings tell you, which is not even the average. You can't even average it out. It's a much more complex mathematical formula of what vectors towards, or what, like in a line graph, what it points up on the X graph, on the X axis, towards what spot number 1 has. The kind of clusters of HTML they have, the kind of code they have, the kind of text they have, the words they have, as analyzed by like 20 different AIs that Google uses. Yes, there's not just one on-page AI. There's like 20 of them, right? And you need to analyze, and they all analyze it differently, and they're all looking for different things. And you need to, there's no way a human could look at those 1,000 pages and determine this. This is, again, another reason why we made this system. But that's the good news. You don't need to worry about any of this, right? You don't need to use a spotty, at best, and if you're being honest with yourself, you're not psychic. You can't just look at the competitor's page and be like, I know what it is. I could see it from a mile away. Sorry, I've been doing this 30 years and I can't. So I'm telling you, you can't either. Again, a lot of people get annoyed at me because they dislike the brusqueness in which I deliver the truths. And I apologize, but I have no time. I have no time to prepare you for half an hour for the shocking ontological shock is the new word, the new phrase I've learned. I have no time to gently prepare you that everything you know about SEO is wrong. I have no time for that, right? This course is already going to be like 2-3 hours long, just to show you how to use SEO Copilot. Trust me, I've been doing this 30 years. I want you to succeed. If it was easier, I would have done it that way. If it worked, I would have done it that way. This guarantees to you, because Josh is doing it the hard way, it's clearly not snake oil. Because why in the fuck would Josh make the snake oil this complicated? It has to be this way, right? And anyone who says otherwise, do not trust them. Ask for their 10 years of proof in their bit.ly/SEO proof. Ask for their thousands of examples of how we rank people, of how I've ranked over 100 students, probably 500-600 students now at this point, 100, which sticks with me pretty much year after year, more or less, as the diehards, right? Just stick with me for 10 years. Ask for their folder of thousands of ranking examples. They don't even keep it, even if they could make it, which they can't. Okay, and that tells you something too. All right, so that's the good news. You don't need to look at these. They're done. The AI did it for you. Great. Now what you do is just click AI article here, and you see it pulls in the query interpretation, the BERT query interpretation, the large language model interpretation that Google might be using. And you can just leave this here. This is what the page should be built about. That's what your competitors are building on. And it uses the page type, the HTML that your competitors, the 1,000 that vector towards spot number 1 are using. And then you would select the URL, title, and meta description and say go. However, so that AI article is being generated, and we can work on that in a little bit here. However, that being said, let me just take another quick little jaunt here in the report while this is analyzing so I can show you some of the highlights and brag a little bit about some more of the things in the system here. So again, the rank brain entities are really important. You notice that the stop words are included. That's because in the AI age, just like ChatGPT, the stop words matter, right? They're the connecting words in the grammar that tell you what's going on. Jorge says, this will be recommending to be linked to the main content or blog post. I'm not sure what you mean, Jorge. If you can give me a little bit more context of what you're referring to there. Not all pages on your site would be blog posts. Or to say the same thing another way, every page on your site would be a blog post. There's no difference between the ranking pages and blog posts. That's kind of how we think about it, because we think about it through the lens of WordPress, but Google does not think about ranking through the lens of WordPress, right? Google doesn't know what WordPress is or doesn't give two shits what WordPress is. Google thinks of the HTML. Actually, Google didn't even think of the HTML. Google processes all the HTML and the JavaScript and renders that into a document object model. And they rank the document object model. So they are like 5 steps removed from the way the content was made. So that's step number 1 to understand. The second thing I will say, and again, I could go on for hours about this, and it always confuses people, because people I find these days can only think of HTML in the process they use to make the content, which is the complete wrong way of thinking about it and probably hurting your SEO game. I'd be more than happy to explain why and how when you join Underground SEO University. But the second thing is, remember, Google has over 1 trillion spam pages. They've publicly admitted all this. Google has over 1 trillion spam pages that they need to categorize, flag, and de-index and never crawl again, or any page like it, every year. And every single spam site is like a stock. The vast majority of them, if you look at them, they show you the pages. If you look at them, the vast majority of these spam pages are stock installs of WordPress that say blog this and blog that, with blog in the URL, blog in the links, and blog roles and tag pages and category pages and all of that bullshit. So anytime you say any of that stuff on your page, you already have a couple check marks in Spam Brain's bad book of you possibly being spam. So again, I'm not telling anyone out there that you should go deleting your blog, because now those are the walls you made to build your house. Now you need to maintain those walls, even though they're the flimsiest, worst walls you should never have built to begin with. Again, sorry, I'm blunt. I don't mean to be, I'm not trying to be mean. I just don't have time, right, to coddle people. Like, you need to get on the SEO train. You need to get on it now if you want to succeed. Otherwise, go get a job in a marijuana dispensary, the only industry I can think of, or a liquor shop. The only 2 industries I can think of which are recession-proof. If you want to make money at SEO, listen, Don't go deleting your blog because now it's part of your site. It still could be hurting you, but there's a special way you need to cut it out forensically and leave the good parts. So again, when you join Underground SEO University, I go at great lengths explaining all of this, why this is, how this is, and how the better way to thinking of it, which is not hard at all. People figure it out. They're like, okay, great, got it. And how to fix it and how to deal with this. Very easy. It doesn't mean you stop using WordPress. It means you stop using WordPress on its stock default installation. And you stop thinking of SEO through the lens of WordPress, because that's limiting your view, literally, of how SEO works. And it's definitely not how Google thinks of it. You need to think of how Google thinks of it. You need to think of SEO how Google thinks of it. And the more you think of SEO how Google thinks of it, the more you think of rankings the way Google thinks of rankings, definitely the better your rankings are going to be. And the more money you're going to make, and the more long-term your rankings are going to last. Okay. Okay, so the query interpretation is really important. People are like, is query intent a ranking factor? The short answer is yes. That's not what Google calls it. They call it query interpretation. We know this because we have another leak from Google. They literally call it query interpretation. When people type in this keyword, it literally changes to this behind the scenes. It literally rewrites the query. So you really need to have it on this topic. Can you change it from this topic? Yes. Should you? Probably not. Same thing with the competitor HTML widgets. This is telling you all the different page type kind of artifacts you need on your page. You need products, about us. You need welcome to our service. You need features. You're going to need, in this case, a table with prices. You need testimonials, and they should be real testimonials. Apparently, you're going to need to frequently ask questions. You're going to need more products with features in a table. You're going to need a your company, all rights reserved, and you're going to need your social proof. That's because that's what vectored to spot number 1 in your shard collection, which again is tens of thousands of lines of code that no human being ever has the time to look at or ever could. And even if they could, they would not be. You would not be competitive in SEO. You would fail in like month 4 to 7. Danny says, could you put what Google wants and then add some of your stuff on the same page? Sure. Within reason, yes. But at the end of the day, you need to set, it's not about you. At the end of the day, it's about Google. It's pleasing Google and your users. You need to please Google or they're never going to rank you. And you need to please your users. Otherwise, Google will never keep you. Right? I'll say that again. It's not about you. It's not about WordPress. It's about what Google wants to see, because they've decided from on high what a good business is and what a good business looks like and what a good page looks like and how much it should be about a topic and what an expert looks like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you need to please what Google wants. And my AI has analyzed all that for you without you even have to think about it. One, and did it in a way shorter time you ever possibly could, for costing you way less money than you ever possibly could, and enabling you to make more money than you ever possibly could by monopolizing upon this. You need to do what Google wants you to do, and you need to do what your users want, right? You need to do what Google wants you to do, or they'll never rank you. You need to do what your users want you to do, or Google will never keep you there, right? Google watches all the traffic that goes to your site. And if they see any bad traffic in various ways, I'll teach you in Underground SEO University, some of the first scientific tests we did to prove that traffic was a ranking factor. And it very conclusively is, and this is not really a secret anymore, a lot of people know this, but not really people know how to manipulate it the way we know how to manipulate it, and really get benefits out of it the way we know how to get benefits out of it. So, so to answer your question, yes. A qualified yes. Making me nervous, yes. But only if it's going to benefit your users at the end of the day. Steven's iPhone joined as a guest. Hello, Steven's iPhone. Steven's iPhone has become sentient. Hello. It joined on its own. Danny says, I mean for the users. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And if that's going to increase your conversion rate optimization, if that increases your conversions, and that stops people from going back to Google and clicking on the results or changing their search or varying things up, if that terminates the search, that's the most important thing. And so you could think of a conversion in the more broadest sense, like did they read the information and they were informed? And you stop searching? Check mark. Did they go in that and then they changed their search radically so that they got this information, they moved on to another topic entirely? Check mark. Did they come here and actually convert and they signed up for this, or they ordered this, they got an email for that, and they got off the search cycle and you terminated the search? Big, big check mark. So yeah, for sure. So Danny, you're in exactly the right place. I'll give you a gold star. You're in exactly the right place to be thinking about it. It's what Google wants and what the users want in a symbiotic relationship is what you, here's you in the middle. Oh, what do I do? Here, you in the middle. That's what you need to provide. All righty then. Okay, so let's go to reports here and see if the article is finished writing. Depends on how many people are in the system. Looks like it's done. Boom. Nope, still writing it. It is still writing. So we're still writing it with the high quality article writer version 2.1 beta. It's called CP or Copilot. Here he is. Here's CP. He is a very complex, what's called a chain of thought ideation, a multi-agent AI agent, which like a writing team is writing your content and adding in all the expertise keywords, the experience, the authority, the helpfulness, analyzing all the content, analyzing all the entities where they need to be. It's not just about putting these words in certain spots. It's about putting hundreds of words in hundreds of spots. And again, that's why we said in underground SEO University, we used to do all this by hand. And we're like, we can't do this anymore. To actually rank properly and be competitive in competitive niches and to make any money and to have a job in SEO, you need an AI to do this for you. So great, we have one. It's great. Jorge says, send those articles to my SEO Copilot account. No problem, Jorge. I can send these along. No worries, my friend. Okay, so after these are done, do you ever need to look at them? Not really. They're pretty much fine on their own. My AI does a very good job. 99% of the time, it does a 99% good job of giving you 99% of the information on reports. Discovery and Keyword Spy work really, really well. Article Builder is the one that is 9 times out of 10. It does 90% of the time. It does 90% of what you need with 90% of the results. It's still very, very good. It saves you time for sure. It's just a human should really look at this to make sure that it did the content well. Danny says, while we're waiting on content, can you check a specific keyword and click on the difficulty? I want to know what it is meant in the estimated ranking after on page 4 in the green highlight. Oh, okay. So when you're in keyword discovery here, and you look at one of these guys, and let's look at this one here that's tough. And it says, he's talking about this here. So the overall difficulty compared to all keywords is 21%. All keywords in our system it's 21% tougher than any other SEO niche. And I use a very complex AI to analyze this as well. This is at least a 15-point AI agent using my 30 years experience at eyeballing, how good their SEO is and therefore how difficult it would be to beat them. And it gives it a hard score in the system. You don't need to worry about this score. It will be useless for you. It's what he's asking about is that estimated ranking after the on page is page 6. So that's exactly what it says, my friend. That's what we're saying. We're saying that based on our testing of our system and how well it produces pages, you should be on a healthy site, you should show up no deeper than page 6 for just doing on page. Now, that is a very conservative estimate. Between you and me, you'll probably rank much better and much higher. Like the one you saw where I got spot number 1, not only page number 1, I got spot number 1 in the AI overview. That one that you saw that I did, it said page 4, if I recall correctly. Let me see. It was like, let me see if I still have it in my system here. I might have deleted it. Let me use the search utility here. Boom. That was Kitchen Reno Granite Bay. Yeah, I don't even have it in my system here anymore. But if I rerun this for you, let's rerun it. Boom. Kitchen Reno Granite Bay. Get results. If we quickly check the difficulty on this, It's fetching more keyword ideas. The AI is thinking about it, casting as wide a net as possible. Here we go, boom. A lot of money in kitchen renos. Boom. So let's go here to kitchen reno Granite Bay. Boom, 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 boom. And it's checking the difficulty here. So I'll be able to tell you this in a second. Or I could run kitchen reno in Granite Bay. The same way to do the same kind of search would be kitchen reno and then select Granite Bay. So it's just people here, although there's many more people other than outside this area probably asking for this, but for this area, but we can do that. So when a little local pro tip, if you see near me, you want to put the location there. Kitchen reno, Granite Bay. Okay, so kitchen reno, Granite Bay. The difficulty for this, still checking. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. It even used someone's logo. Okay. Let's do this. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go. What was I doing? Let's go here. So kitchen reno near me is the same query, really. So like I said, we have to hit a number of APIs. So many APIs we need to hit to do this. And all the SEO APIs are sketchy as hell. They fail all the time. Okay, while this is going on, let me go here to YouTube, see if you guys got any questions. JP asks, how do you feel about the technical side, such as load speed? How long Googlebot stays on the site, which is about 5 to 6 seconds based on my test, etc. That's a great question, Jordan. So yeah, I mean, Ted Kubitis, of course, claims that that's about 4 seconds. So you're in the same range as Ted with that. Last time I talked with him, anyway, and we've kind of made up recently, at least on my on my part we have. And so they will take that analysis at about 4 seconds or 5 to 6 seconds, and that's the DOM structure they will extract, and they will store that DOM structure in their database, and they'll base all their ranking factors off of that. So how do I feel about the technical side? Technical definitely is a ranking factor. It can be 100% of your problem in like 1% of cases, if that makes any sense. If you're serving 500 level server errors, too many of them to Google, we know for a fact that will derank your site. But how often does that happen? Very, very infrequently, as you well know. Page speed definitely is something you need to worry about. Yeah, and so that really has nothing to do, in my opinion, with about how long Googlebot stays on the site. That's a separate concern for like how your on-page looks and whatnot. But yes, technical SEO is definitely relevant sometimes. It can make all the difference in a very, very few amount of cases, if that makes any sense. If it takes like 20 seconds to load your page, I guarantee that's an issue. If you have all these rendering errors, I guarantee that's going to be an issue. Do most sites have that? No. Is that where you should start diagnosing things? Nope. That's going to waste your time. Is that what you should think white hat SEO is? I know you don't. I'm just saying for everybody's benefit. Is that what you should think SEO is? No, definitely not. Is that where you should waste all your time doing SEO? No, you'll lose, and you'll lose your job in SEO and have to go do something else. Don't believe me? Just watch. And don't believe me? Just watch. And is there far more important things to do in vast majority of cases? For sure, definitely. So I hope that answer makes sense. In some cases, it makes a lot of difference. The tech side of things, for sure. Okay, let's go back here. Why is that taking so long? Too many people in the system here. Coach Oscar says, Wix seems to have different page speeds every day. Any issue with Wix? For sure, Oscar. Yeah, I've had tons of problems with Wix. I've had tons of problems with Wix because their their page type is very different from everybody else. They stuff all kind of bullshit here in the HTML that all of your other competitors might not have. Also the page speed, also in terms of the directory structure they make. They might enforce a certain directory structure, which is literally hurting your rankings. They might enforce a certain kind of navigation structure, which is definitely hurting your rankings. So the good news is everybody else is using Wix. Great. Well, then you all have the same boat anchors on your ankle. So I guess that makes it all equal. But the bad news is OnPage and OnSite are the two the best possible ways of ensuring that you get ahead of your competition. The two ways to ensure you get ahead of your competition is doing better work in the keyword discovery and doing better work in the OnPage. These three steps are the only way you can ensure you most effectively get ahead of the competition. You do not want to play the game of trying to gain SEO ground on them with links. You do not want to play the game of trying to gain SEO ground on them with more expensive designs or something. You do not want to spend the game of trying to gain ground with them on buying links or any kind of off-page signal. That's where you incur the most cost. That's where you incur the most risk. That's where they've been building more signals up far longer than you, that you'll never catch up. So if that was your plan, and I know it's not any of your plans listening, but if that was the proverbial you, if that was one's plan, you're going to fail. I'm sorry, you're going to fail. No one in the SEO forums talks about failure. I know failure rates all too well. I know them for a scientific fact, right? For example, 60 to 70% of our pages in SEO Copilot index. That means 30 to 40% don't. They fail. I know that. I announced those statistics. I'm completely transparent with our statistics. On average, every single user on average who uses SEO Copilot gets a 7 to 9 spot boost on average. Some get far, far more. Some rank number one. Some rank number one in weeks, like I have. Some rank on page one in 2 weeks, in a day. Some people get page one in anywhere from 2 weeks to a day. Some fail completely because they've failed to follow all the three steps. That's the reason why they failed to follow all three steps, or their site already had such a big problem with it, perhaps one of these technical issues, that no matter what you do, you're not going to rank until you fix this problem, kind of a deal. Does that make sense, Oscar? So it really depends on your niche. Danny says, awesome, another question. By the way, good questions, guys. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks for interacting. I give you all a heart emoji. Danny says, when doing an article for a particular easy keyword for a local small business and it doesn't show up number one, do we create more similar content and link to the first page till that reaches number one? No. Or yes, actually, it depends on what you mean, Danny. It depends on what you mean tremendously. Do you mean page number one? You might not hit page number one with just OnPage. Most niches that make money, the more money a niche makes, the harder it usually is to rank. So that you should expect the more money the niche makes is more what you should be going for, because why are you going for niches that don't make any money? Why are you wasting your time, right? That's like saying, I'm going to make a farm that I need to feed my family on my prepper farm, but my prepper farm only makes 1,000 calories of food a day, and my family needs 10,000 of calories of food a day. But the 1,000 calorie a day farm is easier, so that's what I'll do. That doesn't make sense. You need 10,000 calories of food a day, therefore that's what you need to make. You need 10,000 ranking points out of your pages or site to compete with your competitors. That's just what you need to make the money you need to make. You could have maybe did a better choice of going for easier niches that make way more money, like crypto, right? For example, something that's new that also is hot and makes money. Those are usually the best places to find rankings. If it's just going to be an SEO play, then choose the niches that are new so it's easier to rank for them because people haven't been trying forever, and that make the most money, because pound for pound, you're going to make enough money to survive your costs. You have hard costs every month. You need to make here's your costs. Your SEO needs to blast past that on the line graph and way exceed it as fast as possible. What you cannot do is this, what everyone else does. They have costs like this and their SEO does this for like a year. And then they slowly start to make money. And then like a year 2, they start breaking even. You can't wait that long. It is foolish to wait that long. It is failure to wait that long. It's search engine optimization, doing the optimal thing, not search engine half-assery. That's not what you're supposed to be doing, right? And I don't want you to fail, right? That's what happens. It's like, oh, our SEO company is going to take 2 years before it starts returning any money. Can you afford that? Are you sure? No, not at all. I'm not sure of that at all. Well, then don't do it. Like, I go crazy trying to explain these things to people. Okay, any more questions here on YouTube? Guys, I'm just trying to make you as much money as possible, and I just want you to succeed. That's just the way that it is. All right. We've already been here an hour and a half, and I haven't even gotten to half the things I want to say to you. Okay. So, yeah. So, get rid of this. Here we are. Okay. So, Kitchen Reno Granite Bay, just to satisfy my curiosity of how difficult this is. It is average difficulty. And it said page 5. So I got to page 1 actually. So doing OnPage correctly, I got to page 1. So as you can see, I got to spot number 1. I didn't keep it. I've kept it in some checks, but not in the AI overview. I need to do off-page for that. Google's never going to recommend in their AI overview an unknown company, no matter how good their on-page is. But as you can see here, competition was incredibly weak. So this is a very conservative estimate, as you can imagine. But it is 13% harder than the rest of SEO. No, 13% easier. Sorry, that's minus 13. 14% easier than the rest of SEO. So it shouldn't be that surprising that I got there. And hey, look, here's the page I did it with. This is straight out of SEO Copilot. Completely straight out of SEO Copilot. Look familiar? It should. This is straight out of SEO Copilot. Now, are there some mistakes here? Yes. Should you copy everything I'm doing here? No. Is this like what I should hold up as like the best SEO page ever? Certainly not. But yeah, just to give you some comparisons. Okay. So then let us finalize then this this SEO secrets course. We've gone over a ton of super money making secrets for you today, many of which are strategic. Quite frankly, without a good strategy, you're not going to succeed. So that's a fantastic thing that we did. The next thing here, though, I want to do is building the articles. The last thing you want to do is build your articles. And we do a really good job. We save you a lot of money. We save you a lot of time on building a high quality article. And so we've built this article here. You see it's using a lot of the page type stuff that we need, right? It's putting placeholders in there for me, a lot of information that's important to have that there. But it doesn't always produce content that's completely in the green. People are like, Josh, why can't your AI produce content that's completely in the green? Well, I'm working on a new version, and I hope to have that done by the end of the year, that it can produce more content that's completely in the green. But at the end of the day, it's your responsibility. At the end of the day, it's no matter how much the AI offloads the work for us, and no matter how much the AI saves time and money for us, which is a great thing. However, at the end of the day, it's your responsibility for the content you put on your site. And you need to look at the content. There are placeholders my AI put in there that it does not have the information for. It doesn't know your pricing, doesn't know your email. It doesn't know your testimonials. It doesn't know your ratings, right? You sometimes need to put this in. And so you're going to need to tell the AI these things one way or the other. And I'm going to show you multiple ways very easily how to do it today. But there's two things. There's two ways of doing SEO. There's surgical SEO where you want to make sure you rank number one, like I did for that one page I showed you. But then there's what we call carpet bombing. They used to call it spray and pray, and that's much more black hat. We don't call it spray and pray because there's really little prayer involved. There's no faith involved. I know statistically at how well it'll index. I just told you, 60 to 70%. And that's for people who have no idea what they're doing. For people in underground SEO University, our page is indexed like at 99%, right? Indexed somewhere in Google, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 1. Again, that was the general statistic of everyone who uses SEO Copilot, most of which, there's thousands of people in SEO Copilot, most of which are not students in underground SEO University, which is too bad. If they were students in underground SEO University, they'd be succeeding a lot more. And it's very cheap to be in underground SEO University these days. Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying things about article building, saying things about the scores. Yeah, sorry, I'm really tired and I've been feeling sick this week. I've got COVID, fuzz brain. I've run out of sugar in my protein shake. I am running out of energy. So I'll try to continue here, but I'm losing my voice as well. I should probably go get a drink, but okay. So, oh yeah, right. So people are like, Josh, how come it can't put it all in the green? Because it's really hard to do that. It is super, super hard. One, it can't do this on its own. It needs your help for some things. And at the end of the day, the buck stops here, right? At the end of the day, you are the human being, and you do have, and you should have, and you should never give up your final authority to look on the page and to decide that it's the kind of quality content you want on your site. You are responsible for your content on your site, not me, not SEO Copilot. However, that being said, you can go faster, and I do recommend you get everything in the green, but you can go faster with your content and do what we call targeted carpet bombing, not spray and pray, but targeted carpet bombing is what we do. And it's a term from World War II. If you've watched Masters of Air on Apple Plus, it's a pretty good show, and it's about the Allied bombers, the Canadian and American bombers. Who I think the Canadians were with the Americans, maybe the Canadians were with the Brits. I can't remember, but it's really about Americans who are bombing during the day and doing targeted carpet bombing, as opposed to nighttime carpet bombing, where the bombs. This is true spray and pray. This is truly like, make a wish and a prayer, press the button, drop the bombs. They can be like 50 miles off. What the crazy Americans did is they would fly during the day, despite the dangers of the anti-air cannons that the Germans are firing at them. And the death rate was horrible. It was like 50% or something like that. But they did it that way because they got the bombs much closer to where they needed to be. That's why they call it targeted carpet bombing. That's why we call our process of building content quickly targeted carpet bombing. Let's say you're like, Josh, I need to build up 5 pages. I need to build up 5 sites. I need to build 5 pages a day for each of these sites. So I don't have time to do an hour a page for surgical SEO, which is what I'm kind of about to show you. I need to do targeted carpet bombing. Well, then you just click the article button and copy and paste and go. You don't even look at it, right? You just click the AI assisted generate as many times as possible. You don't even look at it. You paste it. You see what Google likes. You 301 the pages to the pages they don't, and you go from there. It's not an invalid way of building. And if you need to build up a lot of content on one or more sites fast, it's the best way to do it because my AI already does 60% of the job for you, right? Again, with that 60% indexation rate. You're not going to have as much success as you would doing surgical SEO, which is I'm going to show right now, at least step 1 of surgical SEO. There's like 5 more steps in Underground SEO University to squeeze even better ranking juice out of it. Like again, I got spot number 1 in just weeks on a keyword which is 14% harder than the rest of SEO. Yeah. So take that for what you will. But I did more than just what I'm about to show you. Obviously, I used our secret methods in Underground SEO University as well. Some very sneaky and good ranking boosts. But anyway, what I'm going to show you here is still great. It's still going to get you in there, still going to rank you really well, get you to page 1 really well. If you need more help after that, email me and we'll get you into Underground SEO University and you'll learn the secrets there. Okay, but these secrets I'm about to show you now are still the bedrock of what you want to do and still really good secrets. And I'm going to get you a hell of a lot of the way there, right? Okay, In some cases, what I'm about to show you is going to be enough for many, many cases. So it's really hard to get although I'm going to get the next version of this version 2.1 beta, I'm going to get version 3 to cycle this until it gets it in the green. And it should be fairly possible to do that. But for now, let me tell you what the SEO scores are and then how you would fix this manually. It does not take long, and it could improve your quality by 1,000% to have a pair of human eyes on this, to make sure this pricing is correct, the availability is correct, to make sure this is all correct. Like my AI is going to it researches this, but it also makes it up. And you have to replace these testimonials. It's illegal to have AI generated testimonials. Apparently, I've heard from the FTC. I don't know if that's true. No lawyer, can't give legal advice, but I would strongly recommend replacing these with actual testimonials. So anyway, and I would strongly recommend not using the competitor's image either. Use something else there, but it is still a placeholder for you here. Okay, there's a placeholder telling you need an image here. So again, it's really helping you plan your page layout for you, at least in the content piece. So finally then, let's, for the rest of the SEO secrets and how to use SEO Copilot, let's drill down here on what these scores are and why they're important, and then how to get them in the green, which is actually way easier than a lot of people suspect. Okay, so this is how you do it. First off, what are these scores? These scores here are our overall SEO scores. They're called the big four scores, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are the important SEO scores you need to rank. Some people are like, Josh, how come there's not just one score with a dial like this tool or that tool? The answer is because this tool or that tool is a piece of shit and has no idea how to rank. If I could break it down to one score, I would have done that if I could do that. So the 4 scores are great. They're covering large swaths of the different areas you need to cover to make sure that you've got all of the entities. Like I said, you need the sheet that you have all the entities in there that you need. The most important one for sure is the Google Semantic Score. You can think of this like the keyword density, but that's where the familiarity with this ends, and that's where the similarity with this ends. It's not actually keyword density. It's far more complicated than that. So it's good that you have an AI analyzing it for you. Long story short, you want to get this number between these numbers, right? You need to be in the optimized score range is what you need to be in. The further under you are, the worse you're going to rank. The further over you are, really the further over you are, the more you're going to rank worse. It is worse to be under than it is to be over. Would you believe that being over-optimized is not nearly as bad as being under-optimized? Despite all of Google's bullshit about don't stuff in keywords and don't do this and don't do that. You know, that's my John Mueller impression. That's all horseshit. John Mueller is not there to help you rank. John Mueller is there to confuse you so that you have to buy AdWords so that Google makes more money. Yes, it is. SEO is definitely important. You have to have the entities mentioned in the right frequency in the right place. But you might be like, okay, what entities, Josh? Well, these ones. And you're like, oh, you mean just these words, best Punta Cana airport transfers? Nope. It is far more complicated than that. You need all the related entities, all the plural versions. You need all the stop words, meaning the right grammatical representation of these entities. You need these words here. You need the spread of these words. You need to have a complete informative article that has the spread that covers the topic adequately so that users will know. You need to be saying all these different words and all these different entities here. And not only here, but if you go to the SEO tab, you'll see the ones that you're missing here like this. You also see the phrases that you're missing, and you'll see how important they are. For example, we don't say Punta Cana Airport anywhere here in the article. You need to be saying that. How do you read? This is brand new, by the way. How do you read this? Well, you read this, you see the huge difference in the jump between this number and these numbers. That's the important thing. and Punta Cana Airport, you see the jump between these numbers and these numbers? That's the important one that I would focus on the most, right? So we got to say more of these words, right? And so we might have to stuff them in manually. We could get my AI to say these things. It depends on a lot of we can kill multiple birds with one stone. So I'm going to show you how to do this easily, and you're going to kill multiple birds with one stone. That is to say, you're going to solve multiple problems. The problem of this, being too low, and some of these entities here being missing. Oh, now they're not missing because it's recounted. Some of the entities being missing here, for example. Some of the entities here are missing. Some of the entities here are missing. I'll show you how to add them all very easily. The next score, which is important, is the average predictability length. This is the average number of words you're allowed to have in a sentence that are the predictable ones, the business basic ones, the boring writing ones, the non-helpful content words, and the words that an AI would generate, because the content that your standard AI generates is shitty, low quality, lowest common denominator writing. So this is both a duplicate content, boring writing, unhelpful writing, and AI writing all in one score. So instead of having 50 scores, I've broken it down to 4. It's the smallest I could get it, and still be in any way representative as to how SEO works. And so this is supposed to be under 4.13. This has a certain threshold. On average, you're allowed 4 words that the AI would produce of low quality garbage writing. Whether an AI produced it or not doesn't matter. I've seen scores of 5 or 6 that a human wrote. And this is only for English, by the way. For other languages, this threshold is way higher, and that's fine. But for English, this is supposed to be 4.13. And the more this is over 4.13, the worse it is. 0.22 over, 0.25 over 4.11 to 4.13 is the range, is fine. If this is the score I ended up with, we'd be perfectly fine. This still strongly correlates with spot 1 to 5 rankings. But if you want to strongly correlate with spot number 1 rankings, which you do, you probably want to get this to 4.13 or lower. Okay, equally as important as the predictability length statistically when it comes to correlations of rankings, and these scores are objective. This is not my objective opinion. These scores have been proven with single variable scientific testing and tens of thousands of pages of correlative rankings. So these scores highly correlate. These ones here highly correlate with rankings. So too do the spam scores highly correlate with rankings. And there's more than one spam score. Your URL can be spammy, your title can be spammy, your meta description could be spammy, and that's all a separate spam score. Your H1 could be spammy, and your body content could be spammy. And so your spam scores are very important. Now, if anybody denies that Google has either checks for quality, has quality algorithms, or denies that Google has spam algorithms, I can prove you conclusively wrong in 20 seconds. So if anybody wants me to do that, let me know. Otherwise, I'm not going to dig into that and get in the time of that. So these spam scores are really important. For the URL, it's important for it to be 0. For the title, it's important for it to be 0. For the meta description, it's important for it to be 0. And usually my AI generates that off the bat. It's usually not a problem. The H1, you want to be under whatever, and the body, you want to be under whatever the percentage of your competitors are. Because the H1 should have some content stuffing. It should have some keyword stuffing, quite frankly, because you need a certain semantic score, right? You need to start to match, you be in the range of your competitors. There's an optimized range you want to hit there. Don't know why that's taking so long. Don't know why that's taking so long. So your body and the H1 need to be at a certain level. So you want the body to be close to this number, but not over. And you want the H1 to be close to whatever number it's going to give me if and when I can run it, but not over. Looks like one of our APIs is failing, it looks like. It's probably what happened here. That's the problem that happened here. Okay. So and then lastly, but not leastly, is the heat score. Heat stands for your helpful keywords, your expertise, experience, your authoritativeness, your trustworthiness. And we actually use the actual model that Google uses. Google actually trains their AI on this actual prompting, this content. And so we use the exact same, this is copied directly from Google. And we use the exact same model that Google does. And we rate it at a score of 1 to 10. Anything less than a 7 is a failure, right? And so if you see a 7 here, that's just barely a pass. That's just barely a pass. So what my AI is saying that this is just the bare level quality of content that you want to have. It is just bare level insightful. It is bare level interesting beyond the obvious. It seems like it is almost not mass produced. It seems to be outsourced. It may have a large number of creators. But it passes, that's good. It was using automation, so my AI is not entirely wrong, but we're just surpassing that, just barely, which is a good thing. And you want this to be in the green as well. Now, if you put my boots to the fire and you say, Josh, how much does this statistically correlate? How objective is this number? How much does this statistically correlate with rankings? If you put my boots to the fire, I would admit this is the green score. This is one of the big 4 scores that correlates with rankings the least. I've seen pages that fail this that still rank pretty well, but not number 1. And I've seen pages that knock this out of the park and get a really good score here, but don't necessarily rank on page 1 either. These other scores are far more correlative to ranking. There's definitely something causal going on here and here and here. So I would recommend getting this in the green, but if it's barely in the green, or sometimes it dips in the red, sometimes it's in the green, you're kind of borderline, then if you're in a hurry, I wouldn't worry about it. I would just move forward. Okay, so that's how the big 4 scores work. Now again, only because I'm doing a demo here. This never fails when I'm using it. Let's see here. What is going on? Why are you frozen and running? Okay, great. All right. So now it's not gonna probably let me do much. Well, it will, but okay. So let me show you how to fix this. I could probably let that run. It'll probably fail eventually. It'll time out and fail. Okay. So let me show you how this works. So the last swath of questions I get are, how do I get this page in the green? It depends on exactly what's in the red and why it's in the red. It is why that matters, right? And so it depends. If your semantic score is too low, the answer is you can do all these things. 1, you can press the up score button and boost your semantic scores. You can add more content, or you can ask CP how to do it. You can read here what CP says. CP says to increase your semantic score, you need to incorporate relevant keywords like top, reliable, international in your content. Remember, those are the ones you were missing. You can give it more content like this. You could say, please, great, give me more content to add. You could ask it. I'll do that. Okay, great. Give me more content to copy and paste in close to the top, introducing the concepts, using the words you said were missing, top, etc. And CP can do this for you. And it's better to get CP to do this for you because CP has access to all the SEO information for this page. So it can help you get some of the details right, some of the content SEO details right. And if this is too high and this is too low, then what you need to do is you need to add more content, but you need to go way above on the semantic score, and you need to go way above on the predictability length so that you can then cut it down with the minus scores button to be in the green of where you need it. So it's like adding on icing, and then you remove icing until you have just the right amount of icing, right? Or to say it another way, the metaphor I like to use is it's like the Marvel movie muscle magic, right? You know, like Chris Hemsworth and Hugh Jackman and these guys who build all this muscle for the Marvel movies. There's a specific way they do it. What they do is they eat like 3,000 to 6,000 calories a day, and they work out like crazy, and they put on all this weight and muscle. And then before filming, a few months before filming, and they do that from the top down. They build the muscles, the show muscles at the top, and they build that down to like the legs. They want to skip leg day. They go down to the muscle at the bottom, and then they cut it from the bottom up. Then they start dehydrating themselves, and they start cutting the muscle from the bottom to the top until they get to the amount of muscles and the amount of cutness that they want. We do the exact same thing. We're going to add this content at the top. We're going to add this content to the top here. And we're going to add more content up here like this. And we're going to start adding it from the top to the bottom. Then we're going to cut it from the bottom to the top. So I've added a sentence there like that. Now I can highlight this sentence and I can say, give me the plus score. And it's going to flesh out this article. Boom. Sorry, this paragraph. I'm getting really tired. Then I'm going to upscore this. I don't like this one. I'm going to upscore this again. Don't like it. Upscore it again. Okay, if it gives me the same. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to say no. I'm going to say, these are the things you need to think about. Give the top 5 things they need to think about here in one paragraph, which we can expand on below. You can also prompt it here and do that and highlight this and say the plus score. Sometimes that'll work. Quite often that'll work. To add a lot of content. Okay, good, fine, boom. We'll add that. We'll take this and we'll say, please format this in one para and remove the markdown text. CP can do that for you. You'll see here that the semantic score has gone up tremendously. This score will also go up because we added more AI content. Oh man, AI is really failing here. If CP keeps failing, there we go, boom. So we take this, boom, 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 replace it, boom, okay. So we've got this. Now the types of transportation services. Explain why taxi services might be the best option, pros and cons, all in one paragraph. Can do this here. I can upscore this here. If that doesn't work, I can do this here in CP. Boom. I can do the same thing. Boom. Explain why the shared shuttle services might be the best option. Pros and cons all in one paragraph. Upscore that. Boom. And because it keeps putting that in, I just get rid of that. I can leave this, but remove that because we already have it. Boom. The private shared, private transfer. And if you want it to be an advertorial, you can change it to be are likely the best option. Upscore that. If you upscore it, it'll throw in all the keywords. Boom. And luxury car service for the price, all considered. Boom. And luxury car service. Boom. Explain why the luxury car service your preferred option. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Add scores. And boom. Okay, boom, boom, boom. So all that was added. Let's go save it. Let's reload this. Now we're going to be over. Yep. Let's reload this. Now we're going to be higher here. And boom. Okay, great. Now we've gone over where we need to be. Now what we do is come down to the bottom where we added, we highlight this and we minus score it. So now we're going to cut the weight, so to speak. Place that. Minus score this. Also, the minus score is a much more dynamic, better sales writer. Minus score this. Replace. Minus score this. Replace. Replace. Okay, so let's save it. Let's rerun this. Boom, boom. Okay, we're just 2 points over. That's good enough. I could leave this now if I wanted. And this one, let's see how much. Oh, this is perfectly in the range. This is just 2 points over. Remember I said being slightly over optimized is fine. This is fine. And I'm actually in the range of 4.13, which is the last time I tested it. So this is fine as well. So these scores, even though they're in the red, I'm telling you, pro tip, how to use this. These scores are fine. I would be perfectly fine with these now. So that's great. So now, the next thing we need to worry about really is just making sure the spam scores are all good. Let's rerun the heat score to make sure that it didn't go down. It's not thinking this is less helpful for some reason. I don't know why adding more helpfulness would make it less helpful, but it did go up slightly. Great. Okay. So now the last thing we need to make sure is all the spam scores are in range. Let's go here to the H1 and see what it thinks it should be at. We also notice here, we've got the spread keywords. We're saying those now. And now we've said Putakana 10 times, apparently. We're not saying Putakana Airport enough, though. We need to make sure we're saying this one, because look at the big jump from the general run to this is going to help you rank #1. This is going to help you rank #1 for sure. Now we added a whole bunch of this by adding the content. This used to be lower. This was lower too. Now we need to get more in this range for these kind of guys here. Looks like the AI we rely on to do this for the spam score seems to be broken. I don't know why that might be. So let me go here and say this. Go to here and say this and go to no, let's not go talk about aliens. Let's go here to everyone, say the spam scores are consistently failing after spinning a long time. Please check. Okay. So, okay, this one finally finished. So this is fine. This is 0%, 0%. This is great. You could change this if you want, but this is probably fine. Book your shuttle now. We do say this twice. Probably don't want to say this twice. We probably want to copy the H1 here and maybe give it a date signal to help out. But that probably would have been fine on its own. Yeah, something is crashed here. I bet if I check my email, the API is saying it's got a failure rate at the moment. If this happens, just move on to another page. Just do other work. It will eventually fix itself. I am at the mercy of the APIs to give me all the data required. There's a lot of data that needs to be processed. Okay, so now let's look at this one here. The final one here is, okay, now the EMQ is best Punta Cana airport transfers. So best Punta Cana is 6. That's pretty high, much higher than 2. Punta Cana airport needs to be said a lot. Cana airport transfers definitely can be said as well. Although that's the EMQ. How many times do our competitors say the EMQ? They don't say it much at all. They don't say the exact match, but they do say a lot of the words in the H2s here. So we're allowed to say quite a lot of this in the headers. So we don't have to worry about these entities really, Punta Cana. So let's do that. Punta Cana airport transfers. So, okay, so I'm going to do it in a number of different ways, right? There's a number of different ways you can do it. So I want to take this, boom. I want to take this and this, boom. Take those ones. And say this. Okay. Please give, okay. So now I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to go back here. Okay. So now I'm going to manually add some in some places. Now I'm going to say, okay, please use these phrases in context here without saying these phrases. Reword the sentences you give me as examples to use these concepts in context without saying these exact phrases. So I want to understand this topic. I'm not an expert in it. I barely understand what this even means. I get it's some kind of transportation from the airport to somewhere. I don't know where. Sometimes it's like hotel transport. Okay, so now I'm sure Jorge can tell me. From airport to hotel. Fair enough, Jorge. But people, SEOs don't necessarily know that. You could use CP to find that out. So when landing this Caribbean paradise, travelers will uncover a variety of options to transport them directly to their accommodations, ensuring a hassle-free start to their vacation. After disembarking from your flight, you encounter numerous choices reaching your resort, making it easy to land. The moment you step off the plane, a range of transport generates. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. Okay, great. Exploring the top transportation or the best transportation options. Is it to and from Punta Cana Airport? Yes or no? Sometimes CP gets like, oh, you want me to write stuff? Sure, I'll write stuff and not answer questions. To and from. Okay. So exploring the best. So we don't want to do Punta Cana transportation options to and from your resort. Resort/hotel. You can add keywords here. It may not be the best way to do it. When I'm demoing and talking, I may not be thinking of the best SEO, but it can be fine. Depends on how surgical you're trying to be. What I need to do here is like this. Okay, please reword this paragraph to mention these ideas. Exactly. Boom. Okay, so it's going to reword that for us. I'm going to highlight this again and use it again. Transfer is better. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to take this, boom, boom, boom. Take that, paste that here, boom. Great. Now we're going to save it. Now we're going to rerun this to see if we're like way over now. We're a bit over. So, okay. Now let's go here. See, this has gone up. Now this has gone up. See? Okay. Now we do this here. Wait for CP to answer. If CP is going to take forever to answer, we can also just go to ChatGPT. This is where we can start to rely on ChatGPT if you want. I can be like, okay, fuck, this is taking too long. Go here, paste that in here. Oops. Take this, go back to here because I missed it here. Take this, like this, go here, boom. Fucking make this bigger. Why is it so small? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, go here, take this, boom, 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 boom. And say go. So now it's going to write this bullshit. Yeah, some API of ours is super busy right now. All right, this is going to be way longer than I want it to be. I'll take this, put this in here, boom. I'm going to take this like this, like this, like this. I'll rerun this. Oh, it's fine, okay. Okay, so now come back here. See what I'm doing on these phrases. Oh, great. Now we have 15, 5 of those, 4 of those. Great. Let's read it just to make sure. As you land at Punta Cana Airport, you immediately notice the range of available airport transfers ready to take you to your hotel resort. Selecting the right transportation from Punta Cana Airport is critical. Reliability, comfort. And you know, we could make these reliability, comfort, convenience, safety. We can do it that way too. Great. Save this again. Okay, highlight this. And go back to here. Close this. Yeah, fuck off. Take this, delete this, boom. Please reword this paragraph to mention. Boom, boom. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Take this, put this back in here, boom. A little bit longer. Did it ruin this? No, it's still around there. It's fine. Boom. Okay, let's go back here and count. Did we get? Oh, when you click the SEO tab, it should recount for you. We're getting higher here. We're getting better. Getting better. Okay. Go this one. Boom. Boom. Put that there. Send. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, boom. Save it. Did we ruin this? No, still there. SEO tab. Boing. Our numbers are going up. That's good. That's good. We're getting close. I'm going to do the next one, I think. Do this one. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. If this is the one we want to sell, we could bold it as well. Save. Let's add more here. There we go. We're close to Punta Cana. Now we're close to airport transfers. Now we're close to Punta Cana Airport. There, we're pretty much done. Punta Cana Airport transfers. We could mention there's 6, but we don't need to. This is probably good. This is probably done. So the only thing that's not, this is probably good to go for like for like an offset here, just like to go with. You need to do a bunch more OnPage on this that isn't in the tool. Like you need to go down here and fix the prices. You need to go down here and add in your own testimonials. Remember there was an image up here. You need to add the image. And you need to make sure that's your real phone number. Make sure the rest of this information makes sense. And make sure all of the stuff you're trying to sell, like all your contact us buttons are in there and whatnot. And remember your social icons, social links need to go here, as you recall. But as far as my AI is concerned, we're only 4 points over. I'd be comfortable going with that. I could reduce some of this content. We can get rid of some of this content. I could be like, okay, well, we're over where we need to be. The average is 1,200 words. We're at 1,600. So I could remove some of this if I wanted to get this number down. But when it comes down to it, let's rerun the body content score. If the spam score is going to work at all. Oh, the H1 did finally finish there. Look at that. and the competitors are 70%. So it's green because it's a high spam score, but the competitors are very spammy as well. For some reason, it takes forever to load, but then it says it's not loaded. Something in the system is very busy. Not sure. But anyway, assuming that the body spam score isn't gone crazy, because we just stuffed in a bunch of keywords, right? Now, when I read it, it sounds fine. When I read it, it doesn't sound like SEO sentences. But it's kind of not like the fact that there's keywords here, keywords here, keywords here. It may not like some of this. I'm not sure. But otherwise, this is pretty good. This is pretty much good to go. You can move on to the next page. All right, guys. So that, in a nutshell, is what you need to do and why you need to do it. It doesn't matter what haircut I have. They all drive me crazy. They all make me insane. What questions you guys got? Ask me any questions you guys have before we get to the gifts. If there's any final questions on this before we get to the raffle, before we get to the SEO Power Hour, before we get to the SEO Ask Me Anything. Danny says, go bald. It works for me. Not yet. Not quite yet. Although you see the gray coming in. Ask any questions you have about the stuff we've been talking about today. I'll get to the gifts and the raffle right away. Just stay tuned for a couple more seconds. People on YouTube, ask any more questions, and I'd love to answer them to finish our Friday session. All right. So Jorge says, is it sufficient to simply copy and paste testimonials from Google Reviews or TripAdvisor, or do we need any other integration? You can copy and paste testimonials from your public sources, but you need to link back to them. So I would definitely give a link back so Google knows where you got it from. Any more questions? Let me go here to the tube views. Any questions from folks here? I don't see any more questions. Guys, there's 3 people watching. If you have any questions, please, by all means, ask them in the chat there. And we'll see. Come to the bald path, Jorge says. I will when I need to. when and if I need to, I will. But I don't know. Like, there's a lot of hair here, guys. I don't know if the bald is ever going to happen for me. I'll probably grow more hair. Hair is growing everywhere. I won't be specific. The older you get, it's like another puberty. There's like a hair growing out of my ear. I'm like, what is this gnome? I'm becoming a gnome. What is this gnome hair doing here? I'm getting rid of it. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the raffle. Let's see who wins. Let's go and do the raffle here. Let's see here who has answered. So Jorge answered yes. And the other people who answered yes was Chris, Darling, and Danny Garcia. So we have 3 of you. All right, so I will randomly generate a number with a 6-sided die between 1 to 3. And the answer is, but however, if you've already gotten an audit from me, I'll probably select somebody else to spread the love around, is what I'll probably do. So Danny, I don't remember if you got an audit yet. Chris, I think you did get an audit, and Jorge, I think you got an audit as well. So if that's the case, guys, I think actually I'm just going to default to Danny because I don't think Danny has gotten the winner of the SEO Power Hour yet. If that's wrong, so I'm announcing Danny as the winner. Yay! Da, 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 da. If that's wrong, Jorge says mine was not a free audit. Oh, Jorge paid for the audit. Okay, Jorge. All right, fair enough. So it's between you and Danny. I think Chris already got the free audit. I can't remember. Tell you what, I'll randomly generate between you 3, and then if you already paid for the audit, let me know. So or if you already got an audit from me, let me know. So I've generated number 1. Beep 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 beep. So 1 to 2 on the 6-sided die would be number 1 for generating a number between 1 and 3. So who was the first person to respond back? It was Danny. Danny was the first person to respond. So Danny, congrats. You won the SEO Power Audit. Let me know if you have received this before so I can select somebody else. To be fair. Okay, so there's that. Now, as promised, let me give you, Denny says, nope, never had it. Okay, great. Now let me give you guys the coupons. So please, I have huge discounts, guys. I can give you huge discounts on SEO Copilot. I can up to 100% off. I can give you huge discounts on SEO University. SEO University, to have that level of knowledge, to be able to make that much money in SEO. We have guys selling sites for $500,000. Literally, that's not a lie. We have guys selling sites for $500,000. We manage over $25 million of organic revenue for our clients and for ourselves per year. That's not an exaggeration. Well over $25 million. And we get good cuts of that money. So for you to be able to make that kind of money, one, you still can. SEO still has that much money, guys. If you're in the place with the know, if you know how to use it, the right tools and the right knowledge, we are professionals. We are professionals who do this. We are not some stoner on Reddit telling you some anecdotal information. If you want to be professional and you want to actually have the best chance of making this money, we're the place to come to. It used to be like $500 a month for SEO University. I can give you a huge 90% discount on that, depending on the tiered access that you want to SEO University. And depending on if you want a discount for SEO Copilot. So if you want access to that, no worries. Email me at joshbashinsky@gmail.com and use the coupon code, super secret coupon code, to get huge bigly discounts, on SEO CP or SEO U. And I would recommend joining both. And I give that, so here, the Zoom people have access to that now. So again, YouTube folks, if you want to get access to this SEO Power Hour thing, this audit, if you want to get to the raffle, if you want to get access to the coupons first before everybody else, before they might run out, Michelle says, would love that. Awesome. Let me know what you would love. I will. Michelle says, I didn't say yes, but I answered. Oh, sorry. I didn't notice your answer there, Michelle. I'll add you. Just make sure you reply yes the next time. That's how I see it. And my system categorizes it for me. But if you have any questions, I can definitely help you out. Anyway, so just email me. If it's a 5-minute thing, I don't mind giving you a 5-minute answer. YouTube folks, keep asking questions. And now that the people here have had a chance, let me just quickly check YouTube again. See if you guys have any last questions you want to ask. I see questions. Great. Good thing I checked again. Sammy, how you doing, my friend? Sammy asks, I have noticed that when I'm making changes or adding content into my sites, I get more traffic, but when I stop adding content or tweaking the existing content, the impressions falls and also the traffic. Why, he asks, and that's because of what I said about content velocity. Sites that can maintain a quality output, Google prioritizes because they are so useful, right? Think of it from Google's perspective. Google, again, I use this stage metaphor. Google is like the stage manager. Imagine the world sitting in the audience and they've got a stage and they've got all these people behind the curtain and they're like, you, and you. You stand here in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And people are going to point at you at who they want to answer, and then you're going to step forward and answer the question. And they're trying people out. Oh, you didn't work. Never mind. I'm going to try somebody else. And the more you have good answers out there, the more the stage managers are going to be like, yeah, keep them out there. They're good. They're doing what we need. Google takes it very seriously, right? Google takes nothing more seriously than the web pages they promote to serve their cherished customers. And Google, losing my voice, sorry. I've been talking so long. Google treats their users very seriously, and they want to make sure they're giving the quality best answers, especially with all the upstarts now, especially with all the other search engines that are coming about. Now, between you and me, between Perplexity and ChatGPT and Cloud and Facebook, no one has cut into Google's search share in any appreciable degree. Google still is the place to be for SEO, and by far, still. And the second biggest search engine is not ChatGPT. The second biggest search engine is not Bing, by far. The second biggest search engine is not Claude or Anthropic or Perplexity. The second biggest search engine is still YouTube, which is still Google's property. So by far, and we have learned all the ranking factors for YouTube as well. So by far, although I never follow them on any of my posts, so don't look at my videos to think that that's how we do SEO for YouTube. So by far, Google is still the biggest game, and they treat how to answer their questions. Sorry, excuse me, losing my voice. They treat it very, very seriously, and so you have to treat it seriously too. But if you use SEO Copilot, we save you tons of time and we'll make you tons of money. And if you join Underground SEO University, we will show you what we've known in the shadows. And we know crazy ranking factors that other groups haven't even dreamed of. We've forgotten more ranking factors that other groups know in their totality. So join. I've given you the huge discounts there. And now I will share them here on YouTube, finally, while I'm answering the questions. So if there's any of the coupon codes left, please go ahead and use those, guys. Email me. It's in the chat. Sammy asks one last question, it looks like here, and then I will turn this off, and I will start doing the SEO Ask Me Anything. Guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Sammy says, what do you think about AI and SEO? Does future AI replace SEOs? No. No. Google would be nothing more than the blended. Here's what it is. Instead of having a list of 10, they're going to put it in a comma separated list with links, which some studies have come out recently and show hugely, like 90% of the traffic clicks the links at the top that the AI overview recommends. So, and they recommend like 3 to 5 of them. And that's exactly like getting from spot 1 to 5. So it's no different. It's really no different. And I've already shown you how to do it. How I've shown you today is how I did it. That's not how I kept it. That's how I did it. Getting there is one thing. Keeping it is another. I'll show you how to do that in Underground SEO University. And obviously, it's things I still need to add for my own client, obviously. And yeah, no, I don't realistically. It is way early in the game. Yes, ChatGPT might cut into their search share a little bit. Yes, Perplexity may cut in, but guys, this is like 1992 all over again. And see the gray in my beard, in my hair? I'm old enough to remember 1992. I remember the dot-com boom. And this is like when Mozilla first came out. Firefox hasn't come out yet. Internet Explorer is not even a twinkle in Microsoft's eye yet. Google is not on the scene yet. We're trying to use Metacrawler and Alta Vista as our search engines. That's how early we are in the AI boom. We have not even found the killer app for AI yet, not even close. And ChatGPT has a long way to go before it even comes close to replacing Google or even cutting into their search share in any appreciable amount. For the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be Google, just like it's been for the last 20. So I can tell you that with some look at the stats, right? I can tell you that with a surety. It is Google's game to lose. Whether they will or not, we'll have to watch and see. Michelle says, all good, I was late. Very impressed with this. Thank you, great info. I'm glad you liked it, Michelle. I appreciate that very much. Everyone who commented here, I'll also give you a big heart. Also, thanks guys for asking questions on YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can know when I'm going on next. Let me just check to make sure YouTube, there's no more questions. And let me refresh this. And boom, that's it. No more questions. All right, guys. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for listening. Thanks for watching. I'm going to turn it off now and give these guys an SEO Ask Me Anything after maybe I get a glass of water. But if you have any questions at all, email me any SEO questions at all. Even if you have no intention of buying anything, no worries. I have no problem answering a 5-minute SEO question. If you give me like 10 pages to read, I have a problem with that. But if you have a short, succinct 5-minute question, I have no problem answering that. Email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com, JOSH, B as in Bob, ACH, Y as in YouTube, N as in Nancy, SKI@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to answer your SEO questions and help you out. I want you to succeed. All right, guys, so thanks very much for listening. Thanks for watching. We do this every week, so make sure you sign up for the next course on Friday. Go to SEOcopilotai.com, go to resources, and sign up for the SEO Copilot training on Friday. It's the secrets of SEO. That's what we do. And without further ado, let me turn this off. I'll stop broadcasting, and we'll get to the SEO Ask Me Anything. Thanks, guys. So let me turn this off here. Live stream, stop live stream. All right. Thanks, guys. Everyone in the Zoom, stay here. We're about to do the SEO Ask Me Anything.